Okay, how's it going guys? Welcome to TC Survival and Life Hacks. This is my survival kit. Immediately you'll notice it's in just a lunchbox container, and the reason for that is it's got these clips for one, and also this blue seal here which keeps it waterproof. I use the top of it as a chopping board when I'm making lunch when I'm in the bush, because obviously it's hard to chop, say, your salami or your cheese just on the dirt on the ground. So I use the top of this survival kit as a chopping board. It's really useful. Now there's two things that I'll change about this survival kit, even though I'm making the video now. And number one is this lighter here is a Zippo, and you guys will know, even though it's got the flint, the Zippos run out of gas really quickly. Now what I want to do is I want to find a lighter, just a standard lighter similar to a Bic, that's about this size. So if you guys know of any, please let me know in the comments. I would love to get my hands on one of those. I just haven't been able to find one. Okay, so let's deconstruct this kit a little bit more. I've got a compass with a whistle on it here. The whistle is really obsolete, I don't use it, and the compass is just a spare compass. I use a proper compass when I'm going bush, but this is a replacement if something happens to my other one. I got a whistle, which whenever I'm going out in the bush, or anywhere for that matter, where my life could be in danger, I could fall off a cliff or something, I use this whistle, just put it around my neck. It's on a lanyard, and the cool thing is that this compass has a hole in it for the lanyard as well, so I can just combine them together whenever I'm doing navigation. I got some batteries here for my two torches that are on a Leatherman squirt. It's just a simple multi-tool, nice and compact, but also quite rugged. These torches are surprisingly good for their size, but they are just backup. Of course I'm using a much better torch whenever I'm doing something serious. These are just in case something happens. Same as this knife. Now this knife, it's not the best knife in the world, but it's not bad either. It can be opened with one hand, a flick knife. It's got a really good tip, so it's really good for fine work, and it's really sharp blade. Like, I could shave with this easily, and that's just in case something happens, like the old Aaron Ralston story where he had to chop off his own arm. I'd really, you know, that's probably never going to happen to me, but if something like that happens, I want a knife with a really fine tip and a really sharp blade, which this has, and of course that means it's useful in other scenarios as well. I use this quite a lot. Anyway, there's that. This is just a fishing line with snare wire that I've wrapped around the ends. I've never used this. I've never used this in my kit. So if you think of something better to replace it, like, I mean, I've used the snare wire, but I've never used the fishing wire. So if you think of something better to replace this with in my kit, just let me know in the comments. I'm all up for that. Now let's get on to the fire lighting. I got all this rubber here, and rubber burns really well, really easily, and for a long time. The problem with it is that I can't light this with my ferro rod. So again, if you guys have any ideas for something I could replace this with, I'm down. I was thinking cotton balls covered in methylated spirits. So if you guys think that's a good idea, you know, just post it in the comments. Ferro rod, nice, simple, easy to use, you know. Everyone probably has one of these in their kit, I'd say. Then I've got a parachute cord. Now I went down to the local skydiving company and I asked if they had any. So this is actual parachute cord, and I recommend you guys do the same, because even though it's quite cheap to get paracord on the internet or whatever, you know, once you start paying for a lot of stuff, it ends up getting quite expensive. So, you know, you can get this for free, and if you can get it for free, why not? In here I've got clothespins, which I use a lot. Whenever something breaks in my gear, for clothing for an example, a clothespin is a really quick fix. I've also got a needle and thread, and in this plastic bit here is just some extra fish hooks, and I've never ever used the fish hooks. so I'm thinking I might replace it with more clothespins. I got these really good UCO Stormproof matches. They last a long time. That you can put them in dirt and like stamp on the dirt and they'll stay alight. It's actually incredible. You can light it, put it in a cup of water, take it out, and it will still be alight. They're really cool matches. I'll do a separate video on these at some point, so subscribe if you want to see that. Got an emergency blanket. Pretty straightforward, really. It doesn't have to be used just as an emergency blanket. It could be really good on getting the attention of a rescue helicopter, which is why I've got this mirror in here as well. But why only have one reflective material if you can have two? I mean, widen your search area. But this is also really good for getting, for seeing ticks on your back, you know, injury, splinters, stuff like that you can't see behind you or whatever. It's quite, you know, I've used this quite a lot. Now we've got a simple handsaw, just in case. I've never used this because I've never lost my the saw that I bring with me out into the bush, but it's there just in case. I've got extra strikers for my matches. You know, again, just in case my matchbox gets wet or whatever. Zip ties. Now, I would say that these zip ties are what I use the most in this kit. I've used them for everything, even first aid. You know, they're crazy useful. So when I say I've used them for first aid, I don't mean I've poked one through one end of a wound to the other and zip tied it together. I mean I've used them to hold bandages on, like toes for example, and then put them into your shoe. Like, they're really useful. I use these for everything. I recommend every kit has some of these. Now I've got this tinfoil, and I've put tinfoil in my kit because once when I was out in the bush, I caught a fish, and I had, not with my fish hooks by the way, long story, I'll do a video on that another time. Anyway, I caught a fish and I had no way to cook it, because I didn't have pots and pans with me. It was just one of those random outings, and so I was like, I gotta add tinfoil. You know, you just put this on the fire, and you just put your fish on top of it, and you've got yourself a pot, you know? It's really useful. Now these here Ziploc bags, put one around a tree, put one around tree leaves, tie it together with one of your zip ties, and the condensation from the leaves will give you water. Find a waterfall and you've lost your drink bottle because, I don't know, you fell off a cliff. Who knows? Who knows? That's what we're preparing for, right? But you've got a container, you've got a water container. These are really, really useful, and they are obviously extremely compact. So that's really good. So the two things that I was saying that I want to add to this kit are a new lighter, and also I want to add just some water purification tablets, because I've got basically nothing to purify water in this kit. Virtually nothing. So just some water purification tablets. Now if you guys have anything else that you've got ideas of to add to this kit, put it in the comments, because I will probably add it, and I'll do another video, and yeah, I'd really appreciate the help, because I think I've got a solid base, but there's definitely improvements that could be made. Anyways, I'll turn the camera so you can see all my gear again. And thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Now, you might be wondering what this is. It's another water container. Bet you didn't think of that. Thanks, guys.